Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is your city, your voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680Q on Chrysler Avenue. Yep, in the downtown. That's where we are, right here, looking at the meteor crater. Nothing going on there today, I'll tell you that. Not a creature is stirring, not even a mouse. Nothing. Quiet. It's a pretty cold day out there to be monkeying around. I'm not even seeing the volume of traffic headed down the street to Grand Central for their Tuesday specials. That's how bad it is. But there'll probably be more people showing up. Don't worry, they can't resist it. Okay, so weather is chilly, like I said. 4:30 this morning. It was 22 degrees out. Barometer sitting at 29.42. Humidity at a low 47%. And that's why I'm not so stuffed up today. Actually, it's pretty good. When I left for here, it was 27 degrees out there, so it did go up a few degrees. 29.24, barometer dropping, which means there's going to be some weather coming in. And the are calling for 2 to 4 centimeters of snow. And 50%, it was the humidity. It had gone up a bit since this morning. So it's a good day to keep warm and have some nice comfort food, like chili or something, a nice warm dish to warm up the cockles of your hearts. That's what I say. Anyway, before we get into the show, we're going to talk about city council. We're going to talk about regional council. We're going to talk about a lot of different things today. There's tons to talk about. But before we get into the show, I want to talk about my sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, and Hamel Machine. Sorry, Hamel Machine, not Hamel Machine. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, although I just saw Bob Hamill from Hamel's Machine go by. That's why it's stuck in my mind, Bob. Good guys over there. And Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. So when you see weather like this, you know what's going to happen. Like even yesterday on my car, the sensors were going off because the tires said low, but it's just this cold weather contracts the air, drops it below what your sensors are set for, and you get a warning. But there's a lot of other warnings you could get, like dead battery, brakes frozen. There could be a lot of stuff in this kind of weather. That's why you want to get your car over to Ken Hunter at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. You want him to check over your car, make sure everything's running tip-top. You don't want to break down in this weather. It's cold up there. There's that little breeze that's giving you a chill factor. Yeah, it's not a day to be standing around tapping your foot waiting for CAA to come and save you. So get your car in there, be proactive before we get a lot more snow than we have on the ground right now. He'll check your car out, top to bottom, front to back, brakes, cooling system. He'll check out your defroster, your heater, your tires, make sure they're good for the winter. If you don't have winter tires, he's going to check it out from A to Z. Make sure that you're going to have a safe motoring winter and a good motoring winter without any breakdowns. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. You can't miss it. WildBillsAuto.ca is the website. Hey, give Ken a call. He's going to take care of you. He's got a full body shop, so if you get in a little fender bender or a big wreck in this weather when the roads get slick, take it there. He'll get you all fixed up, send your car back to you in showroom condition. You're going to be very happy. Wild Bills on Oakwood Drive. And go to their website, wildbillsauto.ca, to see all the different services they perform and make your appointment today. And while you're there, go to my YouTube channel. I'm at 195 right now. 5 more, and we're at 200, which is fantastic. I want to get to 200 before Christmas. If you're watching this video, go and subscribe. It costs you nothing. It costs you absolutely nothing. My channel, Paul Lemire, 4973. If you're listening live on Your City, Your Voice, if you're listening on 4680Q Radio, get over there. Check out the video. Subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. Come on, give us a like. Or if you don't like, give us a thumbs down. That's fine too. Or leave a comment. We always love comments. I read them on the air if I get them. So And in that regard, remember, I always have this. This is a phone. And what you can do is text me here. If you have a message during the show that you would like to relay to me, 289-994-7560. That's 289-994-7560. And you can send me a message and comment on whatever I'm talking about, and I'll see it. And I will read it off live on the show here for those on 4680Q who are listening. And it'll be on YouTube later on anyway. The videos are always on YouTube by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you miss the live show, you can catch it on video. Okay, so we're there. So let's get into the show. We got lots to talk about today. We have a city council meeting today at 4 o'clock. It starts probably around 4:30. They go into a private in-camera meeting, top secret, at 2 o'clock. It usually takes them 2.5 hours or 3 hours to get out of that. I know they probably bring in some goodies, pizza and wings or something for supper. I'm sure they have supper before. And so that's why it takes so long, but that's fine. That's fine. You're paying for it. Don't worry about it. It's the least we can do when they get there at 2 and they have to stay till 7 or 8 or maybe sometimes 10 or 11 at night. They got to have something to eat. We don't want to see them passing out, although some look like they've passed out anyway. So let's take a look at a couple of items on the city council agenda today. I mean, I looked at it. I didn't see anything new added this morning when I looked. But a couple of points yesterday. It's not in the realm of when we do a city council review, agenda review, to go deeper into the actual things that are happening there. We should kind of discuss them, let you know what they're all about, maybe tell you what we think council, how they're going to decide on it, and move on to the next point because there's a lot of stuff on an agenda. So on Tuesdays, I usually go into the agenda again and give you my opinion on some of the stuff and help to explain it maybe more than it was explained before. That's what we're going to do right now. Item 7.1, if you're following along, I went through the 22 pages of revenue versus expenses in the city council agenda for the mayor's proposed 2026 water and wastewater budgets. But it's very, very hard to find efficiencies when you're dealing with the quality of your drinking water. I mean, you can't really cut much out. We are known to have some of the best drinking water in Ontario for sure. We don't want to cut any steps out or cut back on anything because it's important. A lot of people drink the water. I mean, I do. I drink the water. This thing's got city water in it. It always does. I don't buy bottled water. I get it right out of the city. It tastes great, and it comes out of the tap, and I'm paying for it anyway. Nice and cold out of the fridge. That's the way it should be. So we want to make sure that's good. If it isn't, you end up with Walkerton. So we have to make sure that we can't really cut there. At the regional level, they may be able to find efficiency. They send us over a bill for the water because they control the water and wastewater. Now, the wastewater, of course, is based on your water usage, your volumetric use of water. It's about 150% or something like that. So if they charge us more for water, we get hit on the water side, but we also get hit on the wastewater side. And as usual, labor and overtime account for a big chunk of the increase. These contracts and people being paid, these union hires get paid, and we have to continue paying them. That's by contract. And usually there's a 3 or 4% increase every year that's attached to it. And that gives us, that ups the amount we got to pay as well. Now, they're going to hire 2 new people, a water meter and backflow prevention supervisor, and a manager of operation planning initiatives and support services. So we know that those 2 positions, just by the sounds of them, are sunshine list positions, $100,000 a year plus. I don't know what they are. We'll have to wait and see. But they account for the increase in labor costs as well, because for a year we got to pay them a couple of $100,000 plus their benefits, and that's got to be jumped in there. I looked through all the ledgers. Really, the region has as much to do with this increase as anything, and the hands down, their numbers, whatever they hand down, we follow. What are we going to do? Here's our charges to the city. We take it and we split it up between everybody who's a property owner and who has water going into their house. And the only way probably we're going to see any kind of reduction in this, or potential savings, is leakage. Leakage accounts for a certain percentage of the water bill. Now, what do I mean by leakage? Well, these old pipes don't seal that well. Water still flows through them all right, but they may not seal, and water will seep out of them. That leakage, of course, is billed to us. We don't use it, but it's billed to us. It's impossible to account for it. Whatever comes out of the Niagara region comes to us, and if we don't get 100% of it, we only get 98% of it. Well, that 2% we still have to pay for. And as we get our systems and sewers and systems better, we put in new water mains, have sewer separation in that, it'll help to alleviate some of the bill. Now, the other thing that's happening is that there are people who are, I don't want to call them thieves, but they are getting water without it going through the meter. They bypassed the meter, found ways to bypass the meter. And in that regard, finding those that are taking water, a year's worth of water, and not paying for all of it, some not maybe any of it, but most of them are bypassing for their sprinklers and stuff like that. That would be a great way to also cut down the numbers for us taxpayers. I mean, if anybody's not paying the full amount, then we have to pick it up. That's the bottom line, right? Now, it's pretty hard to catch these people unless somebody has to go in there. The only way to catch them would be to take a look at they got 4 people in a family in a house this size, 2 bathrooms. They should be using, the average in Niagara Falls is this much. If they're using this much less, then you say, well, either they're very good at preserving water or they've done something. And you can also compare their existing bills to their former bills and see if there's some kind of a decrease that can't be explained. That would be the only way to catch them, but that's about it. Other than that, our water and wastewater is controlled by the region, most of it. So the only thing you have to know, it's going to be 7.5% higher this year. So whatever you're paying, add 7.5% to that. Paying $100, be paying $107.50, and then you're going to be paying another 150% or 53% or something on top of that for your wastewater. Add it all up, and that's what you're going to be paying. You're going to get an increase, and that's not included in our taxes. Remember, that was separated out years ago, and now it's separate. Although, I mean, really, you're being taxed. It is a tax. I think at one time it used to be included with your property taxes. They separated it out because it was getting so ridiculous. Now they just send it to you in a separate bill. But make no mistake, it's a tax. It's a tax. I like the flat rate a lot better. Okay, so moving on from that, they'll talk about that for a minute. Item 8.1, the Meteor Crater Development. That's right, 4500 Park Street across the road. You're going to be listening to it, so make sure you listen to it. It's going to be a good discussion to see what happens, but it's going to be basically rubber stamp. I mean, come on. They've had the meeting. They've had the groundbreaking ceremony. They got a fence up all around, and that was before today. They should have done that after today because, geez, what if council says no? But we know that's not going to happen. We're 40% as a partner in this development. That's right. We're all land real estate moguls. And so this isn't going to just go away. But I do have some questions I hope somebody asks. Number one, what is the city's share of the project? We heard 40%, but what does that amount to in money for taxpayers? What's it going to cost taxpayers for this build? For us to be in the real estate game. And another question is, where's the money coming from for this build? Like, how are we going to fund this? Taxpayers, debentures, reserves. I think they should be transparent about this whole build, especially since taxpayers are the ones who are partners with this development company. And I'm hoping that city councilor or two will start asking a few questions, just not so much because they might already know, it may have been discussed in a meeting with the lawyer and everybody else, but just so that the citizens know what's it going to cost us and where are you getting the money from. Yeah, we heard $100 million bill. That's $40 million from taxpayers, 40%. Where are we getting the money from? What money are you using for that? Are you issuing debentures? Do you have that money from the Niagara Regional Broadband that we got, the 40 some odd million? Are you going to use that money to start it off? We should know only because it's our building. When the city decides to go partners and they start this little holding company, that's us, me and you. So we should know. Now, this Shark Tank update, they called it. I said yesterday it should really be Dragon's Den. It shouldn't be Shark Tank because at the end of the day, I just had to close the door. Somebody came walking in here because at the end of the day, we do the elbows up and Canadian thing. We hear about it from our city council and everything. So why are they using Shark Tank? That's an American saying. Dragon's Den is the Canadian version that started it all. So come on, that should be the Dragon's Den update I'm giving. But it's called the Continuous Improvement Program, and basically, employees from different departments submit ideas that may save the taxpayers money by streamlining operations, finding innovations, or finding savings through efficiencies. Basically, a Mayor Jim version of the age-old suggestion box. If their ideas are accepted, they can go in front of the corporate leadership team, which I think should be city council members, only because city council makes the decisions at the end of the day anyway, whether they're going to institute new programs or programs to find efficiencies. But it's probably going to be made up of, the squirrel, the penguin, Miss Dolch, King James the Weird, and the mouthpiece, our corporate solicitor, our city solicitor, to make sure it's all legal what they want to do. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with all this. And basically, if they like what the idea is and they can put it to work and it has merit, then they'll adopt it and use it. And it's a great thing they're doing this because the people on the front lines, out in the field, the people who are sitting there in administration taking care of all these planning matters and engineering matters, that they're the ones who really know what's going on. They're the front line. They can tell you exactly how they can make their job more efficient. So it's great that we're listening to them. It's great that we're listening to them. But I don't think we need the game show innovation and going through all this rigmarole and taking time from people to, I just don't get this. I mean, it's serious city business. The old suggestion box was just as good. And they may claim it doesn't cost anything and it's all a fun thing to spur innovation and everything. But the bottom line is it does cost it because if we have staff that are meeting about it, if we have staff that are investigating it, that costs money. Even a city council meeting costs $1,600 an hour. That's the way it is. So at the end of the day, it's not free. It costs money. And we want to make sure that these people are doing their jobs that they're getting paid to do. And to sit around and discuss innovative ideas is great. But remember, it's costing us money. It's not free. And I hope that if somebody comes up with a big idea to save the city a lot of money, i.e., the taxpayer, us, that they're rewarded for it. Yeah, I hope they're rewarded for it. So hopefully they weed out the ideas that are crazy, and because there's going to be a lot of different crazy ideas. There always is in suggestion boxes. A lot of times there's more complaints than there are real ideas. And get the good ones and institute them, and maybe we'll save money. I like it. The thought is good. I don't know if we need a big board and all these guys and the dragon stand nonsense, but it's not a bad idea. Item 9.2, schedule of fees. After reviewing the list of fees, I think there are still a few fees that are very low. There's 59 pages of them. I went through them all, and I think that we've got to get to the point in with this economy and the situation the city is in, that we have to really start having users pay for services that they use. I mean, yeah, I know we all kick in through taxes, but I don't have kids in hockey. I don't have kids in school. I don't have anything. Nobody. I don't use this stuff, and I'm probably never gonna at my age. But I'm still paying for it through my taxes. I think the users should pay. Um, that's who should be paying for everything, and they should be paying a fee that represents the cost. When we sit down, all these different things like the arenas, the ice time, the ball fields. When we look at the cost of maintaining and running these outfits, these entities, I think we've got to be able to at least break even with them. If that means raising fees, it means raising fees. It's the way it is today. At one point when times were really good, we could afford swimming pools and all these tennis courts and bocce courts and cricket courts and all the things that everybody says they want, but they're fads. They fall by the wayside. Um, Eventually, I think there's only maybe one bocce court left in Niagara Falls. All the other ones that were here, there's a ton of them. Everybody wanted them. Now they're all gone. But I think that at the end of the day, when times are tough, we just can't afford to pay for these amenities. So if people want them, they're going to have to put them in, pay for them, and upkeep them. It can't be up to us. So I think all these user fees have to go up. And like I said yesterday, I think that $470 for a season at the Gale Center or the McBain Center for the vendors is a little bit low. I don't think that $200 a month is out of the question. There's a lot. There's 6 months they have there, and they do a good business there. They can afford it. They make money on it. And I know Dave Wheeler yesterday made a great point that we want to attract them and have them, but it costs us money to run all that and have it going as well. So we want to make sure we cover our costs on it. And I don't think that $100 a month to have a business running in a parking lot or 200 a month, $50 a week is outrageous. At $470 just seems low to me. But these are the kind of things that are in this thing. You can look through it. You might be able to find some more efficiencies. Um, I just think that user fees are one of those things that that people have to pay to support that which they create. Much like anything, people want to save heritage buildings. If you want to save them, put up the money and let's save them. But you can't always return to the taxpayers to be able to pay for your whims. People want a $17 million trail. Well, raise $17 million. Why should taxpayers pay for it when 100 people are going to use it? It's a way. It just we can't do that anymore. We cry about water rates and everything else and roads, but yeah, we're spending 17 million on a new trail when we have trails all over the city, and the biggest one down the Parks Commission. So we've got to get better at that. I think we've got to get better at that. City Council has to get better at it, and they can't be afraid. They can't be afraid. Times are tough. People know that it's not cheap. I mean, they're going through it too. They can't be afraid to cut these programs out to save taxpayers dollars. Even if 50 or 100 people are using it. So, got to get those user fees up. Item 10.1, approval of interim 2026 spending limits. Okay, so this is basically how it plays out. Because Niagara Falls doesn't do their capital and operations budget at once and come up with a number before the end of the fiscal year, which is December 31st every year, they flow over into 2026, but they still have to send out the tax bills for January, February, March. We don't even have our operations budget ratified until February, but the city still needs money to operate. So what they do is they send out a bill based on the last 2 quarters of 2025 in this case, and you will pay the same as you did the last 2 quarters. Now, if they end up raising our taxes, they tack on what you should have paid against what you didn't pay to the third and fourth quarter payments. As well, they instruct their departments that they can only use 50% of what they asked for to run their departments until the budget's passed. So there's a couple of different angles on there. So yeah, they're not going to send your tax bill out in March. They're going to make you pay 2 months, 2 quarters. They're going to send you out in the first quarter, January, February, March, second quarter, April, May, June, which you'll be paying the same as the last 2 quarters of 2025, and then the last 2 quarters of 2026, October, November, December, and September, October, November, or August, September, October, November, December. You're going to be getting that bill. You understand that? That's how they do it. And this is a direction to the department to they can only spend 50% of the previous budget until the new budget is passed. So whatever they need, they have to be 50% of it until the new budget is passed in February, and that'll be that. Then they can get the full amount that they need. Okay, number 11.1, Office of the Integrity Commissioner regarding Burnett versus Strange. Basically, the complaint was deemed frivolous and denied. 12-page report explaining why it was denied. And Mike Strange is off the hook for this one, but I don't agree. I don't get this decision. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And Jody Burnett wanted to delegate tonight to explain why he doesn't agree with it. And they wouldn't let him talk at City Council about it. No, I mean, the Integrity Commission mentioned him by name, frivolous, and blah, blah, blah. Yet they won't let him talk about it. And to me, that's wrong. I mean, he should be able to get up there and talk. He sent a big letter to City Council that they might post it, I don't know, of his kind of refuting what the Integrity Commissioner said, but they're not going to entertain it. And no matter what they say, the Integrity Commissioner says, there was a conspiracy by him and possibly the mayor, because he said the mayor knew about it, to pack the City Council chamber and deny the Women Say No in Ontario movement the right to come into council chamber and hold up signs and that kind of thing. And we saw their rights actually abused a meeting before, 2 meetings before, when they were ejected from the council chambers for holding up signs, which they deemed, I don't know, somehow they deemed that they couldn't do that. They weren't causing a ruckus or anything or doing anything, but they actually had the cops. The mayor called the cops on them and had them arrested, which, of course, the charges were never laid. Because it's a public building. You have the right to go into that building, sit and watch City Council without being harassed by the police or council. And if you hold up a sign, unless it's racist or it's hate speech, I mean, holding up a sign that says Women in Ontario Say No is not hate speech and it's not racist. So there's no reason to throw them out, number one. And when they came back, there was no reason to think that Mike Strange, he even admitted it in an email that he wanted to pack City Council chambers with Fallsview Hose Brigade members so the women couldn't come in. So right there, and he admitted this. So I would say that's definitely an integrity commissioner item. I mean, come on, what kind of counselor does this? Then he speaks what they were going to speak to. They wouldn't allow them to speak. He speaks to his case, even though they said that they couldn't speak because of his case. And he was instructed by the mayor not to speak, and he kept going. He kind of like pleading his case at city council meeting, which has nothing to do with the meeting. So I think that merits an integrity commission report. He doesn't take instruction from the mayor, and he does exactly what he wasn't supposed to do, and what they wouldn't let these women speak to. That's why they wouldn't let him speak because of this case, but he spoke to it. So I don't agree with that ruling. I don't agree with it. I think that there is some integrity here. I mean, the integrity could even come down to Strange not stepping down with criminal assault charges alleged against him, going to court. So like just we see what happens here. Now, the integrity commissioner may have let Mike off the hook, but the bottom line is the whole situation stinks, and it just shows the character of some city council members. So, I mean, there's no doubt he did this. He conspired to do this. He set it all up. He planned it, and he even told them that after I talk, get up and clap. And the mayor will tell you to sit down because you're not supposed to clap. But he knows that you're going to get up. I told him basically he knows you're going to get up and clap. So, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's turned into a debacle for Diodati, Burgess, Matson, the whole bunch of them, and Strange being the antagonist here. I don't get the report, and I think the mayor fails miserably at bringing these meetings to order, and these guys don't listen to him. They do what they want anyway. I'm sure he's instructed some of these guys, and even told Mike right out in open meeting that he couldn't talk to anything but Bill 9, which the women were there for, and he went off on a tangent about being a victim and when the truth comes out and blah blah blah. I mean, it was ridiculous. There are other conflicts of interest that should be addressed, but those are going to be for another show. Item 14.1, motion from Councillor Patel to create an annual pumpkin award. Please, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but I want to get to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Now, I'm a pizza snob, and I love pizza. And what I want from a pizzeria, I don't ask much. I want good sauce, good crust, and the knowledge of how to put it all together on a pie and make it consistent. I don't ask for much. Well, maybe that's too much for most people. But it's not from Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. I'll tell you that right now. They use the Mancini family recipe for their crust and their sauce. They've got the beautiful blend of brick and mozzarella cheese. They've got the fresh toppings to go on it. They put it on the pizza in the right ratios. They put it in the oven and cook it just right, the way I like it. It comes out perfect every time. It really, really does. That's what you want from a pizza, and that's what they deliver, and that's why I like Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Now, are they just for pizza? Hell no. Chicken wings, panzerotti, steak and cheese poutine, regular poutine, chicken parm sandwiches, steak sandwiches, you name it, they've got it all. They do the whole gamut of food for you. You're not going to go hungry. You look at their menu, you probably want to order a pizza and wings or a pizza and fries or a whole bunch of stuff to please everybody. Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue, 905-374-2222. They use all the delivery services. Dine, skip, whatever you want. Plus, they deliver themselves. And they'll have you a hot, fresh pizza with fresh toppings within a half an hour. That's how good they are. Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And don't forget about their new location, Thoroldstone Road and Kaler Road on the northwest part of the city. Now you guys can have good pizza too. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. They're great people and they deserve your support. We like to support local people. Okay, over to this pumpkin thing here. I mean, from the purveyor of a week of Dollywall fireworks that bugs the hell out of everybody in the city comes the latest great idea, the annual Pumpkin Award. Now, we already have the Spooky Awards to celebrate Halloween, but for this council, that's not enough. That's not enough. We also need a Pumpkin Award. I mean, I don't get it. What's going on with this counselor? Seriously, is there a problem here? I mean, she couldn't find $1 to save for us in $78 million of capital budget, but it's time to dream up these goofy awards. You don't think the city's a circus? Think again. Think again. How about a motion like this? How about this award? An award for the best wiener hanging out of a pair of pants because they can't afford a new pair of pants award. Stop with the nonsense, please. Please. And if item 14.1 isn't goofy enough for you, item 14.2 follows right along from Councillor Patel. I call her Councillor Triple F. It seems her main mission is not to save taxpayer dollars. She's voted in favor of every tax increase, but it's to create frivolous awards and spend more taxpayer dollars on nonsense. Unbelievable. Does she not have time, better things to do than photo ops and dream up award ceremonies? Seriously, folks, our taxes are going up 6%. We need our counselors to concentrate on finding efficiencies, not dreaming up new awards. Oh, this one's a great one here. She's asking staff to investigate. Now, whenever you see that word investigate, excuse me, it means that staff is taken off jobs, the work they're doing, to investigate these wacky ideas. Time is money. Time is money. You know, it costs the taxpayers thousands of dollars per hour to have staff wasting their time on this nonsense. Please stop. Please stop. Please, counsel, turn these wacky ideas down. When she comes up with one of these wacky motions, come on, say no. Vote it down. No. Our staff's got better things to do than investigate crazy things for you. They have more important things to accomplish for taxpayers. And these fantasy ideas, I mean, she's not the entertainment director for the city. That's not her job. Find ways to entertain us. She's a counselor. She was hired to save us money and safeguard our taxes, our tax dollars, to make sure we have good roads and good infrastructure, clean water, and we have a safe city and a clean city. That's what she's hired for. Now, she wants city council staff, city staff, to consider a public voting system and a judging panel to support formal display competitions for lighting. We already have the Sparkle Awards. Does she never hear of this? That's what that's for. Decorating your house. Now she wants a bunch of awards for lighting. Seriously, folks, we can't waste city staff time on this crap. Stop it. Stop it. That's about all. You'll see her do this motion tonight. You watch all these Bacha Galoops sit there. Oh, that's a great idea. Chris DeBrugge, oh, that's a great idea. They'll all have their hands up, and the staff's going to have to go back and waste hours and hours, thousands of taxpayer dollars on investigating lighting awards and then pumpkin awards. Come on, say no. Does anybody on this council, do they know that word no? Can they say no? Do they ever say no to these goofy ideas? I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It just frustrates me to no end. I'm going to tell you tonight. I'm going to put on this city council meeting, and it'll start at 4:30 or 5, and by time CHCH is doing the news, I'll have turned it off because I can't take it. I can't take the nonsense. Boy, I'm telling you, Diamonds and Coal. It's coming up, Diamonds or Coal, on December 19th. Oh, yeah. Believe me. I bought shares in a coal mine so I can delve it out, dish it out. Okay, let's get over to the region. Oh, mamma mia. It's not bad enough the city. Now we go to the region. They're really struggling with the 10% increase that they want to jump on us. They're looking for a 10% increase, and of course, councilors are looking to decrease that 10% number down to something else. Now, they passed a mandate that they wouldn't up it more than 3.5%, but there's no way they're going to hit that. Not when the cops want. The Niagara Regional Police want 11.5% right off the get-go. Our water and wastewater is going up. I mean, they're never going to find. They're not. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're looking for ways to trim it down. It appears that making cuts to long-term infrastructure spending could be the answer. Right now, they're trying to address the 1.5 billion of repairs needed in the next 10 years on infrastructure, which means substantial tax increases over the next 10 years, like about 37% or 3.7% a year. And that's just for the water wastewater part of the budget. And that's exclusive of transit, police contract increases, and inflation, which also adds to the budget every year. Dropping the enhanced capital funding would drop the increase to almost 7%. Still double the mandate of 3.5%, but better than 10%. I mean, it's a big dilemma. Do we extend this program? Do we not spend what did I say? 1.5 billion over 10 years. The 1.5 million. Do we spread that 1.5 billion over 20 years? Try to get away with spending less and doing less. So that's the question, to see if they can dump the number on this year's budget. Now, some councilors say that the money's being invested in Niagara's future. I mean, they still have to find $500 million to build the new Niagara South water plant that we need, or more. They say $500 million. I think it's going to be $700 billion. So cutting from the budget is not negotiable. You can't. It's hard to cut the budget when you're almost $1 billion in debt. So I don't know how they're going to do it. Maintaining the levels to reconstruct it for infrastructure over the next 10 years, 1.5 billion. I mean, I don't know how they're going to cut from that. Others say that taxpayers just can't take the hit. They've got to get it lower. So this Thursday, December the 11th, is the regional council meeting where they're going to be discussing this. They're going to throw it on the table, discuss it all with the final decision coming December 18th. And I will have Alan McKay in on Friday, on December 12th, to talk about exactly what they talked about on the 11th, just to keep you guys informed. So that should be a good show. Tune in if you want to know what happened. Our Mayor Jim says that desperate times call for desperate measures. Okay, whatever that means. I mean, he says stuff. Jim says stuff. Mayor Jim, King James the Weird, he says things. He says he's got all these corny sayings, these goofy things, and you never know what he means. I don't even know if he knows what he means sometimes. Like he goes on, the cure can't be worse than the disease. We're asking the taxpayer to pay for the lion's share, in my opinion, of decades of neglect and underfunding. Okay. Okay. Yep. They're asking the taxpayers to pay for the lion's share, in my opinion, of decades of neglect and underfunding. Now, let's see. Jimmy's been mayor for how long? 14 years, 12 years, 14 years now. Well, Jimmy, me boy, who the hell else is going to pay for it? As you talk about the taxpayers, you're wanting to raise Niagara Falls taxpayers' bill by 6%. You've been there 14 years. You're asking us to pay for your 14 years of underfunding, frivolous spending, and neglect. You just said it. You're asking the taxpayers to pay for the lion's share of decades of neglect and underfunding. You said it. So now you're asking us to do the same thing for the city of Niagara Falls. Maybe the theme of this year's budget should be practice what you preach. How about that? Desperate times call for desperate measures. So chop some crap out of the budget, find efficiencies, and get us to a zero. How about that? Instead of blaming yourself, because you've been there 14 years, for underfunding, frivolous spending, and neglect. Is that what you're telling us? Okay, I got the message. Did you? You know what you told us? Yeah, okay, well, go back and look. So, like I said, I have Val McKay coming in on Friday to talk about the regional budget, the regional money. So, we'll see what happens about that. And we'll see if we can get through this budget today and the one on thing and see, how much we're going to get zipped for. Because, at the end of the day, we pay. Everything comes out of us. We pay for everything. We know that. We know that. And it's the way it is. Sad but true. Now, I want to talk about something weird. And I just don't understand it myself. Last Friday or Saturday, I'm not sure which day, there was this thing called the Krampus Fest held downtown, hosted by Cat and Monkey Events. Really don't know who they are, never met them. But I don't understand why anybody is is celebrating Krampus Day, Krampus Fest. So I had to look it up. Exactly what is Krampus Fest? Now, from the pictures I saw on Facebook, I see people dressed in devil costumes and one dressed as Baphomet, maybe more than one. Other devils. And it's been going on for 5 years in Niagara Falls. And it's usually celebrated on December 6th. And Krampus Night, or Krampusnacht, the wicked, hairy devil, appears on the street, sometimes accompanying St. Nicholas, or sometimes alone visiting homes and businesses. Now, Krampus is described as a horned, half goat, half demon figure from Central Europe folklore who punishes misbehaving children during Christmas, serving as a dark counterpart to St. Nicholas, i.e., Santa Claus. While St. Nicholas rewards good children with gifts, Krampus beats naughty ones with birth sticks, carries them in a sack, or even drags them around in chains, or even takes them to hell, encouraging a bad cop role to encourage good behavior. Celebrated with parades, it's a scary but traditional figure, Krampus, with roots in pagan traditions and popular globally. Now, I don't know. Creature, half demon figure, half goat, that beats children with birth sticks, carries them in a sack, drags them around in chains, or even takes them to hell. I don't know why anybody would celebrate this. I don't quite get it. To me, it's satanic. That doesn't interest me at all. And the people do show people dressed as the devil in Baphomet. Why not have just a nice Christmas street party to celebrate Christmas, time of giving, the time of brotherhood, the time of fellowhood, sing some Christmas carols? Why Krampus? Krampus knocked. I mean, it's really about, fun and good times, not evil. St. Nicholas gives out candy to kids. Jolly old St. Nick. I don't understand where this Krampus comes in and why anybody would celebrate it. I don't know. Hey, nothing wrong with it. If they want to celebrate it, be my guest. Personally, I wouldn't go and I wouldn't take my kids to it. Krampus might grab my kids and take them off to hell. Who knows? So this Baphomet character, who is he? Well, Baphomet is a mysterious goat-headed wing hermaphrodite, a figure from Western lore first appearing in accusations against the Knights Templar that symbolized balance, duality, male, female, human animal, goat-headed winged hermaphrodite. And in enlightenment, becoming a prominent icon for Satanism, like the Satanic Temple. They have a Baphomet statue in their temple, and they represent earthly principles and rebellion against dogma, mainly Christianity. In pop culture, Baphomet appears in fantasy, horror films, various media, often as a demon lord or symbol of dark savagery. Now you see this a lot in these Madonna videos. You've seen it there, and I've seen it in a lot of these pop music people, these satanic people that have Baphomet in their videos. So people brought um, their kids to this Krampus. I don't know. Yeah, they have the right to do it. Celebrate the way you want, but to me, it's satanic. I don't think it's great. I mean, it doesn't represent anything I believe, and I wouldn't go near it. Now, Kat Thagard, the one that runs the event and owner of a business on Queen Street, said it's intended to be fun, festive, and inclusive community celebration, and that they honor and welcome all cultures, traditions, and expressions of folklore. The event is built on respect, creativity, and bringing people together. Although, I mean, I appreciate her comment on Facebook about that, and it sounds nice. It's just a little bizarre. I mean, why not just do Christmas? Why have this Krampus creature and what it represents? I don't get it. And a lot of times, these people who are doing this stuff will tell you, "Oh, it's inclusive and everything else," but there's these dark characters behind it. Now, you be the judge. Hey, you be the judge. Maybe you went to it and had a good time and you didn't find anything wrong with it. I don't know. I just find it a little bit odd. I mean, but then again, there's other things that I won't touch and I won't do. And one of them is a Ouija board. I do not want to ever have a Ouija board in my house. I don't want to play Ouija. It's a portal. I would not even touch one of those, and I would not suggest anybody bring one of those to their house. Not good. So, anybody going away? Anybody going away? Well, if you're going away, you better make sure it's not on air transit, because at 3 o'clock Wednesday morning, early in the morning, they're going on strike. I thought the strikes were over. I thought we were done with strikes. We had the posties. They appeared to have settled down. The unions of the planes, trains, and automobiles have settled. CBSA has settled. Parks Commission, public service unions, you name it. They've either threatened to go on strike or gone on strike. The teachers using teachers' assistants. They've all done it in the last couple of years. The only one I missed was the Air Transat Pilots Union. And yep, at 3 o'clock Wednesday morning, if a deal isn't reached by then, the airline's been given 72 hours notice of strike action. And if they don't reach a deal, they're going on strike at 3 in the morning. People that have their vacations planned, you're not going anywhere. People that are already on vacation and need a ride home, well, you better find another way to get home. Holiday travel, forget about it. I mean, even the pilots are going to walk off their job. And if they're situated in Aruba, they got to find a flight home on another airline or they're stuck in Aruba. So they began canceling flights yesterday in anticipation of a stop work order. And they're going to continue to shut it down as we get closer to midnight tonight, obviously, because they're going on at 3 in the morning. So it's going to be a real nightmare because Air Transit is probably the biggest vacation carrier, and also just an airline that take you wherever you want to go. They're one of the biggest, maybe not as big as Air Canada, but they're big. They're big, and for them to shut down is going to be a nightmare for people. And 99% of the pilots voted for strike, so it's not like they might or they might not. They said they're gonna. If they don't settle this right away, they're going. The current contract expired in April, and the union says the pilots' wages have suffered due to the lack of a new contract. Wages and job security seem to be the main issues, as always. They want to catch up to the other airlines, and they just got a new contract at Air Canada and that, so they want to probably be at levels that Air Canada is on. So they'll probably be looking at something like that. I haven't read yet exactly what they want. But either way, 3 in the morning, it isn't done. They're walking off. So if you got anything planned, you just may not make it if you're flying Air Transat. Be warned. Okay, let's move over to Minnesota, man. What a big disaster there. And these big mouths, Tim Walz, Tampon Tim. Can you imagine this moron was almost vice president? Vice president if Harris would have won. This guy's in big trouble. 75% of the Somalians in Minnesota are on welfare, defrauding the Minnesota government and the federal government, all under the direct supervision of Governor Tim Walz. Tampon Tim, they called him. And Ilan Omar, they're going down. They're linked to the fraud, taking advantage of stats in state and federal taxpayers. They're both going down. They figure they stole over $8 billion. They defrauded the Minnesota government and the state in the federal government of over $8 billion, these people. And they did it in a despicable way. They opened these clinics to help autistic children. And they said they had 5,000 signed up. And they only had like 50. And they were saying they were going to the clinic and charging the government under Medicaid for these kids that were supposed to be going there. And there was no such thing. They didn't exist. They made up the names, all Somalian names. They made them up. And they were collecting for all of them. Billions. Tim Walz knew about it, said to shut up and don't talk about it. Unbelievable. Ilan Omar and the Somalian warlords embedded in Minnesota and other cities across the USA are slowly getting taken down. ICE is in there. They're arresting them as we speak. Omar married her brother and lied on her immigration forms, has no defense other than crying racism. It's racism. They're after Somalians. Somehow she has a net worth of $20 million, coming to America with nothing. They got thrown out of Somalia, her and her family, for crimes, and making only her congressional salary of $174,000 a year. She was sworn into office in January of 2019. So in 6 years, she amassed $20 to $30 million of net worth on $174,000 a year. Where'd she get it from? Well, now we know, and they're investigating it, and they're tying her right down to it. She's a compulsive liar, much like Tampon Tim, and not only introduced legislation that led to 250 million being defrauded, she introduced the legislation, but held events at one of the restaurants named in the fraud allegations and had a former staffer who was convicted on fraud. Oh, yeah, she was up to her neck in it, right to here. And it's just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. This is being called the biggest welfare scam in U.S. history. That's how big it is. She's going to be going back to Somalia with her tens of thousands of friends, the other criminal illegals. And I don't know, we'll never see the money, obviously. The money was taken and shipped to Somalia and given to the warlords, Al-Shabaab. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, they're going to have an election for governor. And Mike Lindell, the pillow guy, my pillow, Mike Lindell is going to run. I hope he gets elected. He's a true patriot and a good American, and he'll do it right. So we'll see what happens there as we get going. But he's announced that he's going to run against Tampon Tim. But Tampon Tim won't be there. He's going to get thrown out real quick. Oh, Mike sent me a message here. I'm not sure exactly what he means. Mike Cushman, my good guy. It says, so they do not dump enough waste into our waters. The plan is to dump more. The existing stormwater flows from the site currently flow overland to Hunter's Drain, which flows northward towards the existing culvert crossing Willock Row. So I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about or where that is, but he's right. We've had some major spills at our water treatment plants, and they go right into the Niagara River. It's a continual problem, and Mike's always investigating it. So that's another reason that we shouldn't be cutting money out of that. We should be adding to it. I know it does. I know it hurts, but they're so dilapidated, these systems, and we so need that Niagara South water treatment plant to direct flows that way. That if they cut anything out of that budget, water wastewater, it's not going to help things as it is. Okay, thanks for that message there, Mike. Appreciate it. If you can expand on that to me, I will talk about it on Thursday's show. Okay, so what do we got going? Tomorrow's Absolutely. I'll be back with City Council news from the meeting on Thursday, Street Talk Thursday. And then I'll welcome Alan McKay in the studio on Friday to give us the lowdown on the big budget meeting for Regional Council on Thursday night. We'll see how much we're going to get dinged by the region this year. Of course, Diamonds and Coal, December 19th. We give council their Christmas presents for the performance over 2025. You have to tune in for that show. We'll talk more about that. And that's it for me. I'm out of here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate it. Watch that city council meeting tonight. You can catch it at niagarafalls.ca live. You can catch it on Kojako at times. They have it on their local channel if they're broadcasting it, or on YouTube. YouTube always has it. I always go to YouTube and watch it. Have a great day, everybody. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, 4680Q Radio, downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. It's going to get chilly out there. They're looking for some snow, so get ready. I'll talk to you tomorrow with Absolutely. all Habs, all show, and we'll get back into this city council and these numbers on Thursday show, Straight Talk Thursday. Have a great day. We'll see you later. And don't forget our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and to subscribe to the channel. Come on, I need 5 more. Let's get it to 200 and move from there. Thanks a lot. Appreciate everything. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. I got to stop all this stuff here. I'm going to stop all this, and we're out of here.